Okay, see, what we have done in last class and what we are doing. We are discussing uh, about collaboration in extreme programming, how to collaborate with each other, and some factors relates to collaborating our trust, sitting together, real customer involvement, these ones. I think we have already gone through this particular slide. So, in last class, we have completed trust. We have completed this part. How to build up a trust within a team and how to work efficiently. How this trust thing help out the teams of extreme programming who are working on extreme programming methodology. Next is your sit together. So regarding your exam, before starting it, I want to tell you, okay, what kind of questions can come up because your complete unit is about these XP practices. Your complete second, third, fourth, and fifth unit complete. It's all about your XP practices. So questions will definitely come up regarding one or two XP practice you have to discuss about it. So it depends on you how much you know and how much you can write. So and the better is if you can give examples about real life some situations in the companies, organizations, industries, then it will be good along with these kind of topics like trust. What can be one example of trust? You can give situation of two people talking together and how trust is helping them out. And same goes for other XP practices. Okay, let's start with sit together. What is the meaning of sitting together? So if we are talking about extreme programming, so the whole team including experts, the programmers, the testers, they are sitting together in an open workspace. Whenever you have a question, when you want to ask anything, so immediately the another person to whom you are asking, they they can immediately give response to you. It is not like you are sending some document or you are sending some mail, you are sending some message to that person for those particular questions. So that's why this sit together, if you can relate things, how it will help you out or the team members of extreme programming to solve problems or solve doubts or to proceed with the clear vision uh, with the project or for the project, you can say like that. That's why the tagline for sit together is given as like we communicate rapidly and accurately. Sometimes it has been, not sometimes, usually it happens ke, the things that are being answered in messages or emails are not that much clear, um, that the face-to-face conversation that make you clear, more clear, as compared to those conversation of emails, messages. So that kind of stuff is there in sit together that you should know. So yes, what you have to remember in this one, first thing, a face-to-face conversation makes a difference, obviously. So that's why they all, the complete team, is sitting together in open workspace and they are having discussions about the things. So how can sitting together yield such impressive results? So that is obviously this particular part because of communication only. You are communicating in a proper manner, face to face, and whenever you want to ask, I'm not saying ke it doesn't work in all the time that you are messaging someone and you are putting some official mails and you are not getting proper response. But the thing is, if you are having some particular doubts, then yes, it happens that face to face conversation helps a lot. Next thing, as the distance between people is increasing, the effectiveness in communication it decreases. So it happens if you are having some team members who are not working right now, if they are working on field, if they are working on somewhere other on the same project, then what happens, it it will lead you towards lack in communication and the delays in work and misunderstanding also, basically between two people in the team. So that's why this particular study I wanted to discuss here in this sitting together topic. What is given over here, see this part, I will highlight this part. In a field study of six co-located teams. I hope you remember this term, co-located teams. Most of the times it is advisable your team is not distributed. Your team should be at one place only. This is called as co-located teams. So this study being done by Tesla and maybe I think two other researchers, and they found that sitting together, if they are sitting together and they are working about it, they are working about the project, they are working towards the project. So it doubled up the productivity and cut time to market to almost one third of the company baseline. So this study has already been done, and this study has also being repeated on 11 more teams. See over here, and it has also shown the same result, that how this particular practice of sitting together and working together help out the organizations. If you're really interested to study about it, then yes, if someone of you is really into the thing of software engineering for the future purpose of the to work in that particular field only, so you have to study all these things. So you can go through this Tesla's study that they have done on this sitting together approach of extreme programming. So what is the meaning over here? So as the distance increases, so the effectiveness in communication decreases, misunderstanding occurs, and delays also can occur. So that's why it's been advisable in extreme programming that you have to sit together and work together as a complete team and at one place only. So that gives you more productive results, and that gives you more effective results, you can say. The development phase and work in progress document, it can be used to avoid direct communication, but yes, it has flaws that I told you. Okay, if you are having, sometimes it happens. Okay, like I say to you, okay, if you are having any queries, just message me in the chat box or just mail me. So better than that, if I ask you, if you are talking face to face, if you are asking me complete your doubt, whatever things you are having in your mind, then it will make it more comfortable for me also to answer in a proper way that what you want to ask, and you will also be comfortable to tell that what basically your query is. So that is the thing. So whole complete scenario in sitting together is a whole team sits together in open workspace. If something is not clear, you can discuss on whiteboard or some another um, in your informative workspace. If something other things are available to you in the scenario in your workspace, then you can utilize those things also, your charts or regarding progress reports or your whiteboards or your like computer screens. Now, benefits you have to remember over here is it eliminates the waste caused by waiting for an answer, which dramatically improves the productivity. Obviously, if you are asking through documents or through mails or through messages, then it will take some time to respond. So it helps out to spare out that time. Like and it gives you, it doubles up your productivity. That thing you have to remember. Next thing that I wanted to discuss about sit together, here in this particular slide, in this particular one that we have discussed, you just have to remember about communication and how sitting together can help. You can even discuss about this study in your exam if this question comes up. Next one is that you need to know secrets of sitting together. So first one is like about to get the most out of sitting together. Be sure that you have a complete team. It's important that people should be physically present to answer the questions. Sometimes it happens that product manager is not available because of certain work. Domain expert. Uh, what you can do in those kind of cases that I told you, that there are some crucial people in a team: product manager, domain experts, interaction designers. So at that point of time, what you can do, if some person is not available at certain point of time, then you can ask the another person like domain expert to act like a product manager for that, for a time being, for that particular meeting. But that kind of vision should be there. The work of product owner is like to give you the correct vision to the project, to tell you the what are the important release plans, what should be your initial potential release. I am saying all these terms, potential release plans, just to make you remind what we have discussed till now. You should know about these terms. You should not get confused when I am talking about release plans. What is release plan, what is potential release? So those terms should be like, you should know about those terms. That's it. Now, first point is all about if some person is not available, try to make another person available in place of that particular person. Second one is sit close enough to each other that that you can have quick discussion without getting up from your desk or shouting. Like you can see below here, one complete workspace scenario is given to you, which is showing some cubicles also, this particular part. And I will highlight these things. Basically, this kind of workspace, it is like a, yes, it is enough workspace for nearly, you can say, 11 to 13 people. They can sit around very comfortably. I'm talking about comfort. And see over here, this particular scenario is for this particular part of the workspace is for pair programming. Two people are sitting on the one desk. So this is shown here. And this particular for your stand up meetings, you can say that whiteboards are there, and they are rolling whiteboards. Even both sides people can use it. So this kind of scenario is giving you a little comfortable kind of space to work with, where you can utilize things. So this is one example of sitting together, how you can arrange your complete scene of your office, of your workspace. And here some cubicles are there, this part, to work on systems. And this one for discussions you can utilize. If some another members are coming, to give them space, that is also there. Now, one thing that is lacking behind in this particular scenario that I have shown here in this one is there is no wall space. Wall space is being utilized to put down big charts or big computer screens or whiteboards to stick up on the walls. So that is also required. But yes, there are different kind of workspaces available. And yes, according to the requirements, it can be changed. But yes, management support should be there. So this is just one example of one workspace that I have shown to you. It is not mandatory for you to show it in your exam. I just wanted it कि you should look at it कि how they work, and how the informative workspace and a comfortable environment can help you out to be more productive, to be active, to give more ideas, and to be more energized. So that is all about sitting together that we have discussed. These 2 points also, in if this question comes up separately, what are the secrets of sitting together, then yes, you can write down these points and you can elaborate it more. Next, I'm moving forward to the next topic. So that was sitting together. Next one is real customer involvement. What is real customer involvement? Like till now, I have talked to you about on-site customers. If you remember about it, on-site customers are those customers which basically not necessarily to be real one, but they are very important part of your project. They give you the project vision. They give you what are important release plans, and which things are to be prioritized initially before delivering the initial potential release to the stakeholder. So that is a work of on-site customers. And one more thing I will remind you: who can act like on-site customer in a project when we are working on extreme programming methodology? Then product manager, domain expert, or interaction designers. These three people can act like on-site customer in the project. So you should know that thing. Now, in this particular thing, real customer involvement. What is real customer involvement? See the tagline here. We understand the goals and the frustrations of our customers and end users. So, basically, what is the meaning of it? Till now, we have just discussed about on-site customers, but what about real customers? So, what happens? Try to understand it in this way. In extreme programming team, on-site customers are responsible for choosing and prioritizing the features. The value of the project basically is in the hands of on-site customers. Oh, it is yes, it is a big responsibility, but how do you know which features to choose? You can know, you can have that vision according to the expertise, according to the experience, the domain experts, the product managers can have that vision, obviously. But you can't think of everything that real customer wants. If some of you have listened to it very carefully in my previous slides also, then you must have came through this particular doubt. Okay, how on-site customers are fulfilling everything that real customer wants. So here comes the role of real customers. Your daily involvement as on-site customer can help in crucial things, including risk. But there is one term that I wanted to talk about is this one, tunnel vision, so that on-site customer can lead towards this tunnel vision. What is the meaning of this tunnel vision? Tunnel vision means you can caught up in daily details of project that you lose track of your real customer interest. That means you are so much into your project things, that what is the vision, what should be the vision, what should be the next thing, that you don't you are not even thinking about okay, what actually real customer wants. So that is called as tunnel vision. So you have to remember this term. This can come up separately in exam as an objective question. So to next thing is to widen up your perspective so that this tunnel vision doesn't happen. And yes, you have to know what your real customer wants. To widen up your that perspective, you need to involve your real customers. And the best approach to do that is uh, depending on for whom you are building your software. So there are some things which relates to this particular thing for whom you are building your software. And yes, one more I had to told to you here. Okay, that one I will tell you in the last. See over here. So these are the things. Personal development, first one. This one. What is the meaning of personal development? That means the development team. Personal development means that you are developing something for your own, for yourself. So the development team is its um, own customer. The team itself is a customer. Okay, because we are developing for ourselves. Basically, you can say you are developing something for yourself, for your purpose only. So in that kind of scenario, they are developing software for their own use. So no need for external customers. This is very simplest scenario that you are making something. Basically, it is for small developments that you want something for your own to be working in an efficient manner. Then you are doing personal development. So here, no utilize, no need, no requirement of external customers. The team is for real customers only. Second one, in-house custom development. Personal development, you have to remember you are developing something for your own. In-house customer development, that means your organization is asking the team to develop something for the organization purpose, for the organization itself, not for some outer organization, not for some outside customer, not for some outside stakeholder. You can say it is the thing that you are developing. It is for the organization purpose only. So that one is called as in-house custom development. So in this kind of environment, what happens? The team has multiple customers to serve. How you will involve real-time customer if you are doing in-house custom development? So in this kind of scenario, obviously, if you are developing something for your organization, then you will get the requirements inside organization only. You don't have to go outside. So the executive sponsor who is paying for the software in the organization, it can be the owner of the organization, or it can be the one related with the owner, or it can be inside. organization, one another team who is asking you to develop something for them. So that sponsor who is paying for the software and the end users will utilize that software. These two people are there. In this one, what you have to remember, the sponsor who is paying for the software and the end user who is going to use that software. So the best approach to bring your customers onto the team is recruit those persons only as your team members to make them on-site customers. How you can do that? Recruit your sponsor as your product manager so that he can tell you what should be the vision of the project, what you should develop, and what should be your release plans. And recruit your end user to act like a domain expert who can tell you okay, what are the important things you should do, what are the languages you should use, and that kind of stuff should be there. So what you are doing in in-house custom development, you are recruiting those people only who want that, the sponsor and end users, as your on-site customers. So in this way you are involving the real customer into your project. So this is another approach for real customer involvement. Third one is outsourced custom development. So it is similar to in-house custom development. The second one kind of similar, but what is the difference over here? You are not able to recruit. You are not able to recruit real customers to act like on-site customers. In this one, second one, in this one, what we were doing, we were recruiting the real customers as on-site customers. In this one, you are not able to do that. So options, what are the options to involve them is to to meet them in real frequently in starting, usually in starting, to understand the project vision and to initialize, to understand what they want as release plan. So the another way to involve customers in this third one is to meet them in person or to be in contact with them in continuous manner. So that is real customer. Next one is vertical market software. What is vertical market software? Like your custom developments, these two custom developments, it is built for, this one is built for particular industry and it is often customized for each customer. It gathers multiple customers. So in this particular scenario of vertical market software, it is not advisable, it is not advisable to give real customers too much control over vertical market software. So what extreme programming says, if you're working on some vertical market software, you are working in that kind of software, you are developing some project in which there are so many customers involved, then what you should do, you should appoint one product manager who understand the customer needs and he is only telling you what you should develop and how you should proceed. So rather than involving real customers as members of team, create opportunities to take their feedback, the real customers. So they utilize one term in vertical market software, review board, customer review board, which is filled up with important customers. Who are the important customers of this market software? Basically, you will be releasing this particular software or this particular product to the market after complete development. So who can be your important customers? So those customer names or those customers will be written down in the review board and you have to take continuously the feedback from them. So that is the way to involve real customers in vertical market software. Now one more thing I wanted to discuss about it, I forgot to mention it here. I will write it down. That is horizontal. Horizontal market software. What is horizontal market software? I will tell you about. Horizontal market software basically, it is intended to be used across a wide range of industries. Across a wide range of industries. That means it is covering up a very big area. out in the market, you can say like that. So horizontal market software take from here this particular part, horizontal market software, last one. So that software is intended, it is covering up the wide range of industries. Like you can say you are developing some product, you can say the mobile phone, which is available in all electronic shops, in all the big malls where you are buying. So that kind of software you are developing, that is called as horizontal market software. So what happens in this one, because it is appealing to wide audience and real customers are not likely to have that perspective. Like you cannot choose like this will be the real customer. Other ways to involve real customers in this particular scenario of horizontal market software is user experience testing. You can do the test, as per the users, how they felt about their previous release of the product. Beta release, I hope you know this term if you have studied in software engineering. Okay, we are this is the last thing we are talking about in this particular session. What is beta release? Beta release is but particularly a release being done by the organization, um, which covers up small audience, which covers up some limited audience, you can say. And it is also called as preview release. That means you are not releasing a full version of the software, you are releasing some part of it, prototype of it, which is functional and customers are utilizing it and they are giving you feedbacks, or it is covering only limited audience, not all. So this is one way to involve the customers. Very important part, this beta release, I think you must have known this term before. So it is, this beta release is called as preview release, prototype also, which is covering just one portion to take the reviews from the customers, and then the full version will get released after taking those feedbacks. So that is a way to involve real customers in horizontal markets. So that's it. That is about your real customer involvement. The complete mantra about real customer involvement is how you are involving your real customers in your project, so that you will get to know whether you are on a correct track or not. So that's it for today. If you are having any queries, please message me in chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask. And stop. I'm stopping it. Okay, then we'll wind up and we'll meet on Monday. Today, Saturday. Na? Okay, then I'm ending up the meeting. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.